With ploughing well underway at Stonham, Jonathan is undertaking some contract ploughing about 10 miles away at Crettingham with the 4255. It's heavier land and is fairly tough going, as he explains.
So we're here ploughing on the farm I drive the combine for. They've taken on a bit more area this year, contract farming, so I offered to do a bit of ploughing. They accepted, so just thought I'd help sort of pay for the tractors and the plough. It's a bit of stiff old dirt. When we get down in the tram lines where the combine ran and where we were unloading with the trailers, looked like it was really tight, it's really pulling it down. I'm running in 7th gear, running at about 1850, 1900 RPM, but when I'm hitting those tram lines, we're pulling back down, losing a gear, sometimes losing 2 gears and dropping back. Ideally I like to be running sort of 6.5 kilometres an hour, but it's pulling me down to about 5. We're in sort of 10 inches deep. Going alright, for what it is. 1989, 1990 tractor, 140 horsepower on 5 furrows. Their ploughing rig is a Magnum 335 with a Caverland on top 7 furrow plough, and he's struggling for power and grip. So it just sort of shows you what sort of year it is. So we're pulling a Dowdeswell DP7D2 here on the 4255. Quite an old plough. The real point to note is nowadays ploughs have much more length beam clearance and point to point clearance. Just goes to show that in the 80s they weren't ploughing at 10 kilometres an hour through trashy sort of gear. The harder I go with this, the more it'll boil the standing crop and the stubble into the board in front of it, and you just straight up on. Anything too deep, too full, just a bit of a pain. So that nice sort of 6k speed just fits in really nicely with how it's boiling off the skims and everything. So we're running at 10 inches deep, which is 10, which is really plenty in here. I don't really want to come out that much further, mainly due in part to the fact that the skims are all a bit tight, and I don't fancy spending about 3 hours getting them all unseized to get them down. But she's doing a nice little job. I haven't really done much with this plough, only picked this up 2 or 3 weeks ago. So yeah, on the whole, quite pleased with it. So the 4255 and Dowdeswell combination was actually the combination that I first learned to plough with as a little old 13, 14-year-old boy. The only thing missing that I learned to plough with when I was first doing it was a Hill & Osborne single ring press. So it's like going back 25 years to a time that I remember fondly, on some fairly heavy old dirt in Norfolk as well, so very similar. Point to note though is the power shift transmission for the ploughing is just absolutely brilliant. You know, really shines through on the plough. You're just hitting a sort of fairly stiff bit, pull back a gear, pull back 2 gears. You know, literally don't have to touch the clutch all day long. You know, won't touch the clutch at all. Just back off the revs at the end, come down a couple of gears, lift out, turn around, back in, up the revs, up the gears, boom, brilliant. I mean, what could be better?
The first DP7s were built in 1974, aimed at the mass market for standard reversible ploughs. The series was redesigned throughout its life to cope with larger tractors and more furrows, with production eventually ending in 1990. The DP7D2, like this, is a standard 4+1 plough with manual front furrow adjustment. This one has 14-inch wide furrows and is fitted with UCN mould boards.